Hello and welcome to a very different evening of a D&D adventure. I am not Brandwolf this evening, I am Lore Master Loris. And this is our first, I would say our first few steps into a Middle-earth adventure campaign.
Aye.
And playing along with us are most of our usual characters, which some of you will recognize from Slanted Dice Gaming, but they all have different names today. Once again, I am the Lore Master, which is the DM, and for the next few minutes, hours, days, I will be hosting an adventure in Middle Earth, taking you to the land of Tolkien. Who is joining me this evening?
It's me, hello, Ken. I'm usually DMing our Slanted Dice main campaign. I'm going to be playing Eoreth today. But more on that, I'm guessing soon, once we get started.
We also have...
Well, not Freon this time. Unfortunately, I don't know. I wasn't allowed to. Well,
play.
anyways. And I'm not a dwarf this time, but Rohirrim named Fulgrim. Yes, I'm feeling a bit sad as well. I'm feeling like I backstabbed myself with not playing a dwarf.
Oh, what should I say? I'm the first time that Brandwolf has something like intelligence, being a lore master. So this is something different for me, and I'm not thinking about sex all the time either. And we have, of course, our female participant.
Yeah, normally I'm Tiala, and today I'm called Inga.
Inga.
A little barding girl.
Okay. Well, she's a little bit more than a girl. I think she is a full-grown warrior. But
actually, I am allowed to be 16 years old, I think, and that's exactly what I am.
Okay, good. Yeah, make yourself young. Okay. We will learn more if you listen about the world we're in, where we are at, and also the time that we are at here in Middle-earth. But to set the scene for the players, it's a rainy afternoon as you head towards Bree. Each of you either with a mission or with a certain idea or adventure in your heart, and each of you with Bree as your first goal. Looking for the lights of the town or the gate, you see nothing in the haze of rain. Slight thunder as the drizzle keeps to continue on. It looks like it's going to stay this way. The evening, the roads are wet and muddy. Shadows popping up suddenly in the mist in front of you. Each of you are on your own road because you're coming from three directions. You meet at a crossroads with no signs or direction stones. A Rohirrim treasure hunter on foot, heading down from the Midgewater marshes, the outlands, and a female Dunedain ranger coming from Archet after patrolling the Chetwood. You meet as if by chance right in the middle of these crossroads, and you still can't see exactly who or what you are really, except that there is something standing there. I don't know if you are brandishing torches or not. There's no light coming from Bree, or at least it's not close enough that you can see. The only light is a little bit dim moonlight, which is being, of course, even more conceived by the clouds. Like I mentioned, chance meeting right here on the Greenway main road to Bree, or was it chance? You each cautiously draw your weapon as the ever harder downpour of rain continues. You eye each other and see each that as you come closer, the Rohirrim sees a Dunedain ranger, and a female barding, and vice versa. What do you do?
Yeah, I'd say I do already have my torch brandished.
Okay, then you, of course, in the torchlight, see more,
Yeah.
and that you see that it is, for example, not anything well considered evil like an orc or a goblin or something. You see that these are humans
Yeah, I
standing
think
here in front
maybe
of you.
I would say I don't know if what I do see if our Rohirrim and our Barding want to describe themselves very, very quickly maybe
That would be a good idea. Yes.
in the torchlight.
Sure. The
The
torchlight.
torchlight.
You, ladies first, or should I go first?
I don't
Whatever.
care.
Okay. Well then, you see a man, like middle-aged, blackish hair with quite a few streaks of gray, a beard, of course. Yeah, sort of the traveling cloak hunched around his shoulders, and has a little backpack on his back. You don't, yeah, the eyes, you probably don't see my eyes, at least not the color. Bit of a grim demeanor, because it's raining and it's cold, and I want to get into the city to get some warmth into myself.
Okay. How does our barding look?
You see, standing there, a little girl, maybe 5 feet tall, blonde hair braided in a long braid, and she looks about 13 years old, probably is older than that. Wears a nice little dress that looks a little too big for her, and has a long sword strapped on her back.
Okay. No traveling clothes.
No, she has her dress on. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, the
Sorry about the weather at the Lord Master excuses, but it doesn't seem to be getting better.
Well, the Dunedain woman in front of you holding the torch. You see long raven hair, and jutting out beneath like this dark green cloak that she's wearing atop some sort of armor, because she looks ready and equipped for either wandering or something else. You're not sure, but you see these like dark blue but still stern eyes kind of like dotting in your direction. And yeah, as soon as you're the spots like both of these figures, he kind of like holds the torch higher and just says like to both of you, well, you're out late. Are you lost? Or where is it you're heading to?
Do you reply?
I'm on my way to town, just caught off guard by the weather.
Same here. I'm on my way back towards Bree myself. Are you heading towards Bree? Maybe we can share the road. It seems that with the weather and the darkness creeping in, it's quite a dangerous time and place to travel.
Sure, I wouldn't mind a torch.
What's a young girl doing out at that time of the day?
You seem a bit ill-equipped as well, darling.
I'm not. I have my sword with me.
I instinctively like rummage around the backpack because I do have a hang on, let me check my inventory. I have like a well-made blanket, which I'm going to like which I'm
I was
going to
gonna say, yeah.
just hold out towards
Okay.
the young lady.
Okay. I was gonna say like a spare cloak, which the dwarves
No, it's
always
just a
have.
well-made blanket.
Okay.
And I just say, it kept me warm every now and then. It might as well help you in this weather. You can
Sure,
return it.
thank you.
As all three of you notice that there's no really like any animosity or something, anybody think that you all have the same goal and want to get to Bree, but the problem is with the way the weather is, and even though you have rangers with you, or at least one ranger who knows the way the rain keeps falling down even harder and forces you to try to find some shelter under the trees which are standing thick on each side of the road. And a good ways off to the south, you think you can see lights. Who has the highest perception of you?
I don't.
You don't?
Passive perception?
Oh, this would probably be a roll for. It's probably the Dunedain because
I mean, my
they
passive perception is 14, but otherwise I could also roll. I have a +4 on my perception.
Okay, that probably would be. Why don't you all of you just do a perception roll and see who gets the highest points for that. To
Not
see
me.
who sees what.
I got an 18 in total.
Okay.
It's higher than me. I
8.
have a 13.
Okay.
I only have 8.
8. Okay. The Rohirrim kind of squints his eye down, and you see that these lights seem not to be coming from the road, so this can't be the town or something. The light seems to come where the forest opens up a bit on your right. It seems to be a swampy area, and the lights seem like to glow on and then disappear again, as if someone's either walking past them. It could be firelight. It could be something else. And you also with what you said you had an 18? Yeah, you
Yes.
also see with an 18, and you can point this out to the others what you see if you want to. You see shadows of mounds on your right, and these lights seem to be they seem to be almost like signal lights.
Yeah, I'll point it out, of course, to the others. Is any one of you familiar with the area here? Is that Bree already? I don't think so, because it's not on the road. But maybe some farmstead or something where we could look for shelter?
What exactly did you see?
Well, if you look through the trees over there, do you see those lights?
I'm guessing I see some lights, but I can't make
You
out
see.
the same that
Yeah,
you
no,
did.
no. The after Fulgrim it was, right?
Yes.
So after Fulgrim points it out, you and also our young girl see the same thing that he saw. It's a swampy area within the forest, which is the road leads around towards the south, and there's like either little hills or mounds within an area.
Yeah.
It seems to be coming behind it. If you would follow the road to the south, you'd probably come around and you could probably see more of what those lights are, as if they're coming from the forest or if it's around the corner of
We are quite a ways away from any known barrows, as far as I know. But those, I don't know, do the mounds kind of look like barrows or something?
Have you seen barrows before? Probably yes.
Walking around.
Yeah,
I did put
yeah,
the barrow down north.
They could be the little ones and the one larger one. It could be a barrow. Yeah.
Those lights kind of look too cold for me to be hospitable, if you ask me. But I don't know what our other companion here thinks, and I turn to Inga.
What lights? I don't see any lights.
Yeah. She look. While you look again, you see again that suddenly the lights seem to come together, and almost like a glow. It's kind of a glowing sensation, as if someone had lit something, as if it like either oil or something like that. It's not flame burning, but it's more like a glow which you see coming. If you would head towards the south, you'd probably see more. If you head up north away from it, you would leave, it would probably leave your sight. So you're right in the middle. You're still standing. You're still standing in the forest, under the tree because it's still raining, and the road towards those lights. If you would follow the road, you'd probably come around to see more. If you want to perceive more, if you want to look more or get closer to it.
Well, Iorith definitely, like, torch in one hand, she draws her longsword slowly. And, yeah, just looks ready. And just says,
Okay.
I'm prepared for either way.
Do you think there's gonna be a fight?
Yes, I was just about to ask that.
Well, I do have wandered these lands quite some time, and I'm quite unsure of what these lights up there might be. They do not look like civilization, if you ask me. They do look, like I said, a bit too cold. Or maybe... I'm not sure if they're man-made or not.
So should we make our way maybe around those lights?
Well, do we need to... If we were meeting up, like, somewhere, it was probably... do we know that Bree is in, like, a... western direction from where we are?
Bree is on the main road, and the problem is the crossroads. The crossing, since there was nothing, you don't know. You know each of you where you were coming from, but through the rain and through the darkness, you don't know if you're in a more of a northern direction, which would be closer to Bree, or more of a southern direction, which will take you more towards which towards the southwest would be the old forest and everything. So more that. So it's
Well, I assume
you're in the middle. You're in the middle of something. Really don't know where you're heading.
I assume we have two options. Either wait out this weather and see if we can find our way towards Bree, or discover whatever it is that lurks within those shiny lights over there.
Make another perception check, Yorith.
Mwah.
Yeah. Since you had the highest at
That's
first.
a 12.
Oh no! Fulgrim had the highest.
Fulgrim rolled the highest, yeah.
Yeah.
Fulgrim, yeah. Fulgrim, you take another perception tip.
I do that. It's a 12.
12, yeah, okay. And looking towards down the south road, you see that the road, somehow illuminated by these lights, the road seems to open up into it. It doesn't. It rolls the forest. The forest leaves off towards the left. The right side of the forest, where you saw the lights out first, seems to open up towards something like a wider field and kind of a swampy area.
And that's where the lights originally were.
And the lights, you see the lights. It's like you're looking through the trees, and it's like the forest is in the way. There's lights, and you see there's something behind, like maybe a mound or something. And you, of course, as the Dunedain ranger, remember how things like this look, but you're not too sure because you can't really see it. You see something is glowing, but if to find out more, you'd have to go down south. If you say, the hell with this, we're going to turn around and go somewhere else, you can also go back up north. Whatever you
Could we stay inside the wood woods to get closer to the area that's...
Make our
If
way
you-
through the woods, basically.
You can if you don't want to walk the road, you can also walk through the woods towards.
Yes, I would definitely keep to the woods and off the road
Okay.
to stay.
Okay.
Have
Yeah,
a safer
I
feeling about
agree.
this. Keep off
Because
the
you
keep
can-
off the roads.
okay.
We don't know who's walking
Okay.
them at night. This night.
Okay. So you follow the road, not the road, but you
But
follow
alongside,
inward.
yeah, in
Yeah,
the foresty
alongside,
area.
going deeper into the forest.
I mean, I still have
And-
the torch, though. I
So
don't know
are
if
we
we.
going to the light now?
That is
Maybe
the plan.
just have a closer look of what it really is.
Yeah.
Do you
get-
suppose it's gonna be dangerous? Should I put on this and I rummage around in my backpack and pull out a ring mail and like put it in the air?
I would certainly suppose so.
Oh, okay, then wait a second and I try to get in it and put it on top of my dress.
Turn around! Don't look at me. Okay. While Inga gets ready and is dressing herself in her chainmail.
Yeah, I want to like
Um,
take that moment and ask Fulgrim. We haven't properly introduced ourselves before. My name is Ioreth. What's your name, sir?
Ah, my name is Fulgrim. Nice to make your acquaintance.
And you're traveling from where? Where do you hail from? I don't think I've seen you in these parts before.
I'm from east, coming from the east, I think.
Oh yeah, I think you originally. Yeah, where did you come from? What the DM? What did you say? In the
Wait a minute.
Because
He
I was
came-
coming down from Archet.
Archet, and
I think from the
Midge marshes.
Yeah,
The mid marshes, yeah. Through the marshes. So I mean, this whole area is known also to have marshes and little swamps. It's not big like the Dargolad swamps or something, but there's a swampy area. Then there's forest again. Then there might be a grassy knoll or something like that. And the Bree lands, they have all these little towns. You have Bree, you have Staddle, you have Archet, and they're just put up. And in between, it's all either farms or just open areas like this or these little swamps.
Yeah.
So is Inga dressed and ready?
Yeah. He has her chainmail. Wait, no. Chainmail? What was it? Ringmail. That's it.
Yeah.
And also a little shield in her hand, and she looks
And
excited.
Yorith is brandishing a sword.
I'm brandishing a
Yorith
long
is
sword,
branding
and actually, I
a long
think
sword
I'm.
and a torch.
Yeah, I'm also gonna. No, I'm gonna keep the torch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because we
it's
need
still
light as well.
It's still raining, but in the
Yeah.
in the thick forest, you just feel every once in a while a fat drop might make itself thing, but you hear it everywhere around you, the downpour. And as you continue, Yorith, you hear it first. You just hear a word in a kind of a hoarse whisper. You hear Othrongaroth.
And do I like hear it, or do I hear it in my mind?
No, you hear it, but the others don't seem to hear it at first.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah,
Here, what?
Somebody said something. Have a look around, and I kind of like try to see if I can see where the voice, whatever, came from.
As you look closer now, and you walked. I guess you walked towards
a little bit towards
the
where the
light
lights
to see. You see where the forest comes to an end, an opening, where the forest, and now you see exactly where this light is coming from. It's an area which is like a swampy area with different small knolls of grayish green grass, sparsely lit through the moon, because the moon is still covered with the heavy rain clouds. So this is not moonlight. It seems to be the area itself seems to be glowing. Here and there, you see like broken teeth, rocks and pillars. They mark where once maybe there might have been either royal burial statues or altars, and it seems that you have stumbled upon one of the infamous barrows, even though you're still very far north of the Barrow Downs. This is a small barrow and different small mounds, and as you look and you head to the south, you head, the lesser the rain becomes, but there seems to be a fog rising now.
Mhm.
I need you all to do another perception roll.
And I also say, keep close to the flame, everyone.
I'll get my bow ready.
Oh, that's a 17.
Very good.
16.
Also
Eight.
good.
Teen.
Perfect. Perfect. All of you now hear the voice saying first only single words, and then it goes into almost kind of a prayer. And the whole, all of you, all three of you hear, "Come, Othrongaroth, join us. Come to Othrongaroth. We will crown you. We will lay gems at your feet and put rings on your fingers. Come to us. Join us now. The gifts of Angmar shall be yours as well as they were ours, gifted many years ago. Come and share our glory." And then, as if nothing, as if there had never been a sound, an absolute quiet.
Yeah,
The fog, the fog seems to rise up more even, and you have a real. It's more than just a bad feeling. You have a feeling of cold, coming towards you.
Where did that voice come from? It sounded super scary.
Without even going into what she said, do we still see where we came from, like the woods behind us, the tree line?
Fog seems to have come up and crept up behind you as well. You're now standing in the wooded area. You see in front of you this mound,
Yeah.
and the fog, as if you're standing on an island and the mound would be an island. You can't see anything else.
Okay.
And I need you all to do a roll against either paralysis or grappling. What would be something? Probably a as if you're going to be grappled, you probably would need a. Is that dexterity? No. Probably a wisdom saving throw if it was like magic. What would you roll?
If it's magic,
Yeah.
wisdom. But I
Yeah,
have
it-
advantage on wisdom if it's from
Yeah.
any undead things.
Yeah, but I still need you to roll against it.
Yeah.
I failed.
Wisdom saving throw. Okay, you fail. What about Fulgrim?
Well, I've got a 16.
Oh no, never mind. Yeah,
16.
I'm gonna wisdom saving throw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's an 11.
Oh, okay. Fulgrim seems to be the only one that can hold on to his weapon. The rest of you, but also all three of you, have the feeling as if ice cold hands or something are gripping you from beneath the earth, as if they're trying to hold you there. Fulgrim seems to be able to he can't move, but at least you can hold your weapon ready as if something would want to attack you. Yorith and Inga, the weapon as if you don't even want to carry it anymore. It's like you look at your weapon and it's like what I want with this. It's
don't need
useless,
this.
you know.
I did
You
not
don't
draw
need
my
this.
weapon yet, but I think I probably will drop my
Yeah.
shield.
Yeah, or you would drop a shield or anything which you would have. Thing.
Would I
You're
drop the
rooted to the
torch
sun.
as well?
If you drop the torch, then it would probably go out.
No, yeah,
because
that's like the question. Would I only like drop a sword,
Yeah,
or
so if-
also
if-
the torch I'm holding in the other hand?
I would say you don't drop anything. You're just
Oh,
you're
it's
just
just
holding.
like- okay.
You're just holding it like this is absolutely useless. It's
Yeah.
like why do I? You have the feeling like why am I even have this?
What's going
Basically,
on?
sheathing the weapon again.
Yeah, Yorith, you say you have you can see undead
I
or
have
how?
the
what
I have the with like the Dauntless Guardian virtue. It has the see the unseen, so I can perceive shades, ghosts, and wraiths if they're like hidden. And with a DC of 15, like an intelligence check, I could roll for like to get any additional like information, any sense of what this might be.
Okay. I'm just now sending in the Slanted Dice War Room a picture of the Downs, which you might see, and also what Yorith sees now looming up from this mound. So you look out forward, and since you can see, because they can't hide, you say they can't hide anymore in darkness or something.
Yeah.
Yoris sees it first and points it out to the others.
Did you send it yet in the chat?
I put it in the war room. Did you see him?
No, I'm not seeing anything yet.
Is it not in there?
So maybe just press enter or whatever, or write a message or whatever, and then press enter.
You?
In the war room. Ah, now there's a bunch of stuff. Oh, and I didn't even see the. Oh yeah, okay, you didn't post.
I did have the posted close friends. Okay.
No.
Okay. So, as Yorith points it out, and you still have the feeling of these icy hands calling you, Fulgrim is the only one who seems to have his brains about him and holding in. Looming in the shadows, well, not in the shadows, but more now as if it was hiding in shadows, it seems as if the fog turns away and you see smaller shapes that are crawling between the roots of the trees over the mounds, the little mounds around you. They seem to be humanoid, but then again, some seem incomplete. They have limbs missing. Some even have heads missing. You're not too sure what it is, and they're crawling around. And in the middle, standing between them, it's still about a good, probably I have to see it in meters now, probably still about a good 60 to 70 meters away. You see the dark shape glance towards you. It reaches out a cloaked arm. You see a glint of mail. The shape seems to be holding a weapon of sorts. And where the head should be and the eyes, you just see two glowing embers like coals. The eyes are fixed upon you, and you still cannot move. Your hearts are suddenly stricken by terror, and even Fulgrim now too feels somewhat nauseous, as if he was about to throw up. And as this being lifts its sword, it's not coming closer, it's not attacking, but you hear almost an eerie chant again, this same voice, and it seems to be the voice you heard before, and it is almost an eerie song which you hear, and you hear, all three of you, cold be hand and heart and bone, and cold be sleep on the stone, never more to wake on stony beds, never till the sun fails and the moon is dead. In the black wind star shall die, and gold be here, but let them lie, till the Dark Lord lifts his hand over a dead sea and a withered land. Once again, you have a feeling of absolute helplessness.
I'm guessing we also can't speak.
You
at this
can't
particular moment.
speak. You even weapons or even a torch, nothing. You can't raise the nauseousness, and as you see that this figure is not coming closer, Yorith, of course, recognizes it as a barrow wight. It is one of these undead things which you heard of lore, and but something else comes to your ear, off to what would be the northern road from where you came. You got off the road. You hear another sound, and it's the sound of it sounds like a slow shot of a horse. Could be another animal, could be maybe, but it seems to be a shodded horse. It seems to have something. It's slowly coming down towards the mound on this road, and as it comes in closer view, you all three see a shadow which is slumped over the animal, which seems to be, it's almost too large for a pony or a mule. Could be a small horse, but it's on either side hunched down, or either it's hunched or it's a small stature of a figure. And it looks towards, or it seems to be gazing towards the white, and then all of a sudden this figure turns around and lifts a hand and looks towards you. And this, all of a sudden, as if you're wakened from a slumber, you all have your wits again. You're no longer held fast to the ground. You still feel kind of sick, and you can move. And now is the question, what do you do in this moment? You still can't see exactly what is on this horse or whatever it is.
But did the barrow wight, is it like still there, or did it like move
The
away
barrow
or
wight,
vanish or
upon
turn?
the arrival of this new guest, you might call it, the barrow wight seems to have taken back a step. It's not coming closer, and it's looking away from you towards the rider.
I would immediately, if possible, like draw my sword again and like lift the torch high and kind of just like shout, "Who goes there?"
Okay. Fulgrim, anybody else? I mean,
I'll draw back my bowstring again and point
it
roughly towards either of the two figures.
Yeah.
I take out my longsword and hide a little bit behind Yorith.
Okay. While you do this, you suddenly hear a voice, but it's not the deep, ugly voice that you've heard before. It sounds almost jolly, kind of like a jolly little voice. Could be of a halfling, and you hear, as if in a song, "Hey now, Dairy Doe, slow down, fatty lumpkin. There seems to be adventurers abroad. Hey, you there, mind your sword and mind your bow. I don't need an arrow in my hat. A yellow feather sticks in that." And as you, out of the mist, as if the mist is getting away, as if this comes closer, you see now that it is a fat pony. It's a pony, but it's kind of a fat pony. It's not a horse. Mm-hmm. And it's a very curious fellow which is riding this pony. It's a man you would consider old, but not old. He's dressed very colorful in blue and yellow. He has a long reddish-brown beard, and he seems to be riding without a saddle. He just has a kind of a blanket over the broad back of the pony. And you also see that he has no weapon of any kind.
And where's he like riding towards? Towards us or towards where the...
He's going down the road.
Yeah.
The road now, as you can see, as the fog lifts and goes away, and also the barrow white draws back, and the fog seems to draw and collect around the barrow white, and you can see just that the road is just a few steps from you from the forest. You can get out onto the road where you now see this jolly rider, and he gives you a big grin, and he lifts a plump finger as if scorning a school child, and he gives you a wink and says, "Be you man or child or elf, lay your weapons on a shelf. No need for run or walking. Stay here. It's old Tom who's talking."
Do we recognize that name?
I'm going to give you a picture now.
Old who?
old Tom. Some of you the ranger might have heard before.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. I don't know if Jorith might have like heard of any Tom.
Jorith, of course, knows of. There's an old saying of old stories that between the Barrow Downs and somewhere in the old forest, there lives. Some consider him a ghost. Some consider him a legend, like Father Christmas, and the legend is of Tom Bombadil, who's supposed to be a good spirited little chubby man who loves animals. He's always taking care of the forest. People who have to do with foresters know him too. Let me give you a picture here, or two pictures. This first, number one. One moment, and that's the horse that you saw, and this is the character that you see. Come on, go in there. One moment. Oh. Bear with me, please. Be right there. And here we go. And let me send it off. Hope it works. Da-dum-da-dum. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. So you see Tom on Fatty Lumpkin. Fatty Lumpkin seems to be the name of his mount. Mm-hmm. And he turns around towards you. You see, some of you might consider him dressed like a clown. He's absolutely. He seems to have. He has no weapons. He's matter of fact. He seems to have a satchel where he's carrying, looks like water lilies or something, which he's been collecting. So, like I said, I don't know.
But whatever we saw in terms of what was crawling around in the mist, that is like vanished now.
Yes. Well, let me see. One moment. The crawling shapes that were crawling seem to have crawled back into the ground or the mound itself. Mm-hmm. And old Tom kind of gives you a nod and a wink, and he says, "One moment." He turns towards the dark shade with those ominous glowing eyes, and that has seemed to have stopped its advance as if it's fearful. And he starts to sing his own chant or song, as if in answer to us. He says, "Get you gone, you old wight, and vanish in the sunlight. Shrivel like the cold mist, like the winds go wailing. Out in the barren lands, far beyond the mountains. Come never here again, and leave your barrow empty. Lost and forgotten be, darker than the darkness, where gates stand forever shut, till the world is mended. Now, fly now, get thee hence. Bombadil commands you." And with one moment, have to say, with a high, long, trailing shriek, fading away into unguessable distance, the barrow white seems to turn almost to smoke and rise away into nothingness. The crawling shapes disappear into niches and cracks in the ground, and suddenly in the silence you hear again the chirp of crickets, the call of night birds. Far off to the north, the wind seems to be bringing a few tones of music, laughter, even song. You see the road now very clear. The moon has come out. There's no more thing. The rain has stopped. And you think if you take that road back up north, where Tom came from, you probably will find Bree. So the clouds are lifted, the rain seems to have stopped, and sitting on old Fatty Lumpkin is good old Tom Bombadil. Like you said, I didn't make a history check, but I think the ranger, Yorith, probably knows the story of Master Bombadil.
Yeah, I just say to the other two, never underestimate the power of music, my friends. And then I start like walking towards him. Good evening, Master. You saved us from quite the pickle here, if I must admit.
Oh, good evening. Well, I think introductions are a proper thing. You're right. I'm sorry. Let me go first, my friends. The name's Tom Bombadil. I'm a merry fellow. You look bright blue, my jacket is. Me boots are yellow. None has ever caught me yet for Tom. He is the master. My songs are stronger songs, and my hands are feet and fast. My hands and feet are faster. And even though you feel less fearful after the Barrow White left now, you still feel all kind of, like a sick, like you ate something bad, like kind of sick. This whole experience seems to have gotten onto your nerves and things. And Bombadil sees this, and he lifts his hands and says, "Wake now, my merry friends, wake and hear Tom calling. Warm now be heart and limb, the cold Barrow White is fallen. No more grip upon your hearts, his dead hand is broken. Night under night is flown, and look, the gate to Bree is open." He reaches down onto his saddle, and it looks like a wine flask or something, and he passes it over to Yorith and says, "Have a good draught, each of you. This'll warm your bones." And it seems, do you drink it?
Yeah, I just say, well, to health and to new friends, and I take a big swig.
You taste a sweet. It tastes like a sweet wine. You've never tasted like this before. It doesn't have the sting of alcohol. It's almost like a very sweet tea. But once you drink it, your whole body seems to warm. The cold of the rain is forgotten, and it seems to lift your spirits, but not get you drunk. It just makes you feel much, much better.
This is better than any elven drink I had in the past. And I hand it to Inga.
I take a small sip. Oh, okay, that's yummy, and I take another sip.
Inga also feels the same thing, feeling much better, replenished, and as if you're have like an extra almost like a healing draft. It really makes you feel good.
I hand it over. Do you want some as well?
I'll sniff on the bottle first before
It smells.
I take a careful sip.
It smells sweet, like the best wine that you've ever had in Rohan. It's the first sip you take, you've never tasted anything like this. It seems to be, like I said, it's otherworldly. It's just thing. So yeah, drink up. I've got more of that at home. Just give me back my flask. I have to make sure that Goldberry fills it back up for me travels.
You have more of that at home?
Oh yes, I make it. Oh, Tom makes his own wine. It's good for the head and good for the body. Makes your belly round and warm.
So I agree. It's definitely a fine brew.
I just now put another picture up. Now, my friends, he continues, you know who I am, but who are you be? What brings a Dunedain ranger? A stout man from Rohan? Ha ha! I love your little horses. And this young lady who seems to be a barding from Lake Town. What brings you together? Introductions, if you please. Tom's a nosy fella. So are you going to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, who wants to start?
Well, I'll hand him. Sorry. There you go.
Oh God.
I'll hand him back his flask.
He nods.
Well, thank you for the drink. Fulgrim is my name, and I'm really glad you like our horses.
Oh, yes, the best horses ever bred come from Rohan. The Rohirrim, you people, I like your people because you like animals. You are good to the animals, and the Rohan love the horses like they love their children. And you know, Tom has many children in the woods that he watches, just like you watch your horses. Good folk, the Rohirrim.
Most horses are better than people.
I agree. And most ponies, too. Look at old Fatty Lumpkin here. And he hands an apple down to his little pony who just munches on it and just kind of boringly says, just kind of agrees. Yeah, he's listened to, he knows these talks. He's heard them many, many times before. So, and you, young lady, who might you be? What brings a young little woman like you all the way away from Lake Town?
Well, I'm traveling a bit. My name is Inga, and I come from here and there, and yes.
Oh, you are young, Inga. You still haven't seen much of the world, but I see on you a troubled brow. And old Tom recognizes troubles when he sees them. I hope that you will find solutions to what you look for and help in any of the problems that you're fleeing from. And here, one of the Dunedain, and Tom he doesn't really look very noble when he does it, but he makes kind of a curtsy on his horse and kind of bowing towards, Dunedain. Oh yes, I just saw good old Hallis about 2 weeks ago, and I remember him very well and his father.
Well, actually, Master Bombadil, the name's Iorith, and first of all, it's an honor to finally put a name and a face to the legendary name that precedes you in these lands.
You a sweet tongue you have, Iorith. It's interesting. Usually, I thought they always say that the Rangers are battle worn, that they're mopey and sitting around in the dark, but that's not true. You could be a poet.
Well, I do like a little bit of me time with a good pipe and some pipe weed on my own in front of the hearth, but I can be charismatic at times as well, darling. So, since you were saying that you saw Master Hallis, actually, I've been contacted by him or somebody he knows only recently, and am tasked to wander these lands looking into the going-ons of several things. Have you seen any strange sightings? Any beasts that were wandering where they weren't supposed to be wandering, or any other occurrences in the worlds of men, elves, or other?
Tom sees a lot, and not much see Tom, which is good for me. It keeps me safe. But yes, let me think. And a good idea. The moon is out. It's not cold as much anymore, and you probably want to be heading to Bree, but I want to give you a little bit of more, what do they call this modern word is called information upon your road. And what's best to do this? We had a drink. Let's share a pipe. Any of you smoke? And he produces from a pouch. Looks like he has a good pouch of pipe weed, and he has a little curvy silver pipe which he stuffs, and at the same time he has 3 wooden pipes, which he holds out to you as if anybody wants to join him on a smoke.
Iorith already has like a long wooden pipe in her mouth.
Oh, okay.
Certainly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he this here's old Toby. If you know anything which is good about the Shire folk,
Good halfling leaf.
they make a good leaf, I tell you that. Even my friend, old Mithrandir, he likes to come by and share some of his old Toby, or the good old halfling root. Oh, I tell you, this is the best time. Here, dig in, take you. Matter of fact, you know what? Here, take the rest. It's good for 3 or 4 pipes. And take these travel pipes with you, too. You never know when you'll be having a good pipe, and if you have the pipe, just think of old Tom. And he just kind of gives it down to, I guess, Yorith is the closest. And gives you the pouch and the pouch and the 3. The 3 you can add to your inventory. Pouch of old Toby and 3 wooden traveling pipes. They're ornately carved. They look very nice, and they have like the opening looks like a water lily, so it's made like a lily, and the rest is wooden. Okay. And while you're pertaining that, Tom leans back, takes a few puffs, and he says, "Well, let me shake me noggin. I'm lighting my pipe. What may bring you together for one cause? Yeah, you're looking for beasties, you say, creatures. I wonder, could it really be that old necromancer's up to his tricks up there in his tower in the east? Let me see, what news can old Tom give you 3? Well, the year is 2941 in the 3rd age of the sun, even though Tom has seen many suns, and the 2 trees, and the coming and going of the great dark one, but I'm not want to talk about him now in the dark. Yes, Tom is older than the trees or the mountains. He watched the first acorn sprout, ere the first entling walked in Fangorn. I've been called Opralt, the moss gatherer by men, Earain Ben Adar by the elves, and the dwarves, they just know me as Forn, or even just the first in Arda, but you can just call me Tom, or just Bombadil. But enough of my history. What has happened? Think. Well, they consider it the Battle of the 5 Armies. It's ended. Thorin Oakenshield, the good warrior of the dwarves, he's dead, and his cousin Dane Ironfoot is king under the mountain now for many a year. Dale is ruled by King Bard, and the town of Lake Town, my dear, where you're from, is being rebuilt. After the desolation of that old worm Smog, I tell you, I'm afraid that he was also who is probably making you feeling all that well and that loss that you've put up, because that desolation which he did was terrible. My Rohirrim friend King Thengel rules Rohan, I believe, while his neighbor, young Saruman, he aids him with friendly advice, even though he's taken over Orthanc, which once belonged to the family of Ecthelion, who is now steward of Gondor. And when I talk to my friend young Radagast, he tells me the trees don't like that smoke that Saruman is making all the time. But, where do I get? I talk. Well, strange fellow it is, even though the dragon's dead. And then all of a sudden, Tom gets really serious all of a sudden, and he looks down at all 3 of you, and he gets quiet, and he says, a shadow has been spreading. My little brown friend Radagast has told me, and my old friend Olorin, the Grey Pilgrim, you might know him as Mithrandir, or even Gandalf.
Grey Wanderer before, yes.
Has
he been sighted as well in these lands?
He has been sighted, and he told me not too long ago that he was at the ruins of Dol Guldur, through the dark forests of Mirkwood, and even after the destruction of that so-called necromancer, a shadow seems to be growing again in the east, in these desolate parts. Not that it worries Tom, and then all of a sudden he's all happy again. I worry about the wee folk, the folk of the Shire, and the trees, and the elves, and the dwarves, and my friend the men, and all my animal friends. The times are changing, my friends, but maybe it's good to stick together. I like this, that you watch out for each other. 2 women, a man, a Rohirrim, a Barding, a ranger, leaf and stone, sword and arrow, wood and water, what I say, axe meets with knowledge and words with magic, and adventure. And he sits back and draws on his pipe and seems to be thinking. And you see now as even more the yellow moon, waxing moon, is filling up again. He's illuminating your road, and you can see the road now in front of you, which seems to be heading towards, and if you look up there, it seems to be a small town up there, which you didn't see in the rain or all that fog.
The glinting lights of Bree, perhaps.
Oh yes, if you head up north there should be there's no time more for talking. You need to be a walking. Away from brush, away from tree, up north you head to the gates of Bree. I'm afraid Tom can't go with you. You know, I have to find more water lilies for my goldberry. Golden as the sun, deep as the water. Beauty is the name of that river woman's daughter. Maybe someday if you visit me, you get to meet her. And he gives you each a pressed water lily. It looks like it's been pressed very delicately. It almost looks as if it's made out of paper.
Uh-huh.
And he tells you, show this to old Butterbur at the Prancing Pony Inn at Bree. He'll lend you ponies and give you rations and packs. Tell him that Tom sent you. And you know what? For a silver or two, you'll also get a good night's rest there. Bring back any songs you hear and stay away from wights and wraiths and orcs and dark things. Heed no tales of swords or rings. Bombadil is your friend, and he hopes to see you again, safe and sound. Come by for tea and for honey muffins anytime. Goldberry loves company. And he doesn't have spurs, but he just kind of gives old Fatty Lumpkin a pat on the rump, and he starts to slowly head down the southern road while your road lies up north.
Yeah, I just say, thank you, master.
Oh, yes, if you meet more peril or you want to right or wrong, remember old Tom and his silly song. And while riding away on old Fatty Lumpkin, you hear him sing, "Oh, Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo, by water, wood, and hill, by reed and willow, by fire, sun, and moon, hearken now and hear us, come Tom Bombadil, he is near us." And he slowly fades into it, as if it's been a strange dream or something. You're standing on the road. Bombadil is gone. The mound, which looked so terribly, is just now an old mound, an old hill, and you can, since after Tom has pointed you to the right northern direction, you even see the ancient hedge of Bree after a few minutes of travel if you head up north.
Yeah, I just turn to the others and say, well, that was quite an unexpected night.
Well, that was a strange fellow. You know him?
I've heard stories of old Bombadil. He's rather known throughout these lands as a patron and warden of the woods and the other free folk, taking care of these evil things that we've just encountered, these barrow wights and worse. So yes, usually if you wander these lands or grow up around the Breelands or farther somewhere around here, you might have heard of him before. Aren't there any grand protectors of woods or other realms down in Rohan? I must admit I've never been myself.
You should come. You love our horses.
I mean, it did always spike quite the interest in me, although I do think that these lands would not fare well without me wandering them, keeping a lookout.
Do you know where this Tom Bombadil lives? He mentioned a few names, and I would have liked to ask him a few more questions.
I mean, do I know? Would I know how to find him?
No, I
Not really.
Only know even if you make a history check, even with a natural 20, you only know that Tom is known to live in the old forest. He comes when need is be, and for many, not many have seen him, because It's just that he's grandfathers and the grandfathers of grandfathers have told stories of Tom Bombadil and he's almost like like in modern day like Father Christmas. So it's like you met Santa Claus. It's something like, I mean, it's something of impossible that that thing that all of a sudden he's here and now he's gone again, and he's just he's always been there.
Yeah.
And but you really don't know exactly.
But you mean Santa Claus isn't real? Hang on.
Hang on,
I
yeah.
didn't sign up for that.
Well,
So,
I do know that he hails from the Old Forest, is his realm, but I do not know where exactly he lives together with his Goldberry.
Unfortunate.
However, I have always wondered how old he is, since the stories go back that far. But yes, we should probably get out of the cold and into somewhere where there's a warm hearth and I can dry my feet since they're all soaked.
That would be nice indeed.
I just sent you a picture of Bree Gate. You see, if you head up towards north now, it's not too far off. I guess you are gonna head up north towards where you think you saw the city lights.
I'd say so.
So you head up north, and after just a few minutes of travel, after Tom had pointed you in the right direction, you come to what seems to be the Gate of Bree, and
it's also still night, right? As well.
It's night.
Like...
The moon has come out now.
Yeah.
It's night. It's probably around. If you you started in the afternoon, and after all this, it's probably late evening, early thing, probably around 8 or 9 o'clock. And as you reach the gates of Bree, you see the big gates, the hedge or something. Even Tom had said the gates he said the gates are open, but it's after nightfall, and that means that the gates of Bree are closed. And so you stand in front of the closed gates of Bree, and here is where our story will end for today. And it's the next for today. And if you would like to continue this adventure with the little group, and thanks for the few that have turned in and listened, and maybe we'll probably be placing this on our normal Slanted Dice.
On our usual channels as well.
As a usual episode, and next time I believe we're back to D&D. But
and I think next week we can continue still, because that was the initially thought plan.
Okay, good, gladly.
Then
we will continue at the gates of Bree and see where our merry wanderers, who just now, got away from the skin of their teeth from a barrow wight, and met up with one of the hosts of Middle Earth. There are, of course, the fans of Tolkien recognized him right away, old Tom Bombadil, and that's the nice thing which I like about this Middle Earth campaign, that you get to meet the Tolkien characters and in all their glory without changing any of the story.
Yeah.
Yes. So thanks for tuning in. And as the lore master, I have to do what usually our DM does and say, keep it tuned to Slanted Dice. Give us a like. Make sure you subscribe to us. Make sure that we have maybe you can rate us once in a while, and
leave a review on iTunes.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to give the word back to your normal DM, to Ken, and hope
that's all. Just leave the review.
I hope that I wasn't that the barbarian Branwolf, who usually has wine, women, and song in his brain, was hopefully a good host of this adventure, and look forward to continuing it next week.
Aye.
Yes.
So we'll be back with Middle Earth next week then, and then probably continue like in 1 week our main D&D campaign, the other week the Middle Earth adventure. Because I don't know how long this one is planned, how long this one goes. We'll have to see, since it's initially a
Well,
one-shot.
We came, more or less exactly what I had planned.
Okay.
We took about we started a little bit late.
Next time we don't
Yeah.
go to the lights, we just keep going.
Yeah, just keep on the
And
keep on the
improvise
road
the whole thing.
Yeah.
and keep on the road. It was okay. I thought you'd stay on the road and just ride around and you would have ridden right into like a
You
like
go
a
off,
bank of
off
fog.
the road,
but-
you get to the barrow whites. You
Yep.
keep to the road,
But-
you get to the barrow whites.
Barrow whites, hey.
You keep going through
That's
the
it.
forest, you get to the barrow whites.
I mean, hey, that's what it is. I mean,
Exactly.
what did old Samwise Gamgee say? Stay to the road.
if
Shortcuts make long delays.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Alright, well then, everyone. As always, for everything else, just keep us at Slanted Dice on Instagram for any updates, and slanteddice.com for all the episodes so far. And then we will reconvene as always next week.
Except if you all write and say that sucked, get back to D&D.
Except then. No, screw it, we're gonna keep playing anyway.
Yeah.
Because I don't have time
Okay.
to prepare for next week.
Yeah. And I've got everything ready, so okay. Okay.
Alright.
Cheerio from the Lore Master Lourdes.
Aye. Bye bye. See you next week.
Yes.
Bye bye.